All right, class is in session. Going to do a quick review. This is we're going to review the criminal case, the Karen Reed trial. We're not going to review the case. We're going to review Brian Higgins' testimony about his text messages to Karen Reed, because this is what I wanted to do is show men how to text and how not to text, how to text like an alpha and how to text like how it looks when you're texting like a beta. And just all the different nuances and all the just basically all just things that are involved in texting. There's a lot of mind games that can be involved in texting. So we're going to learn a lot of things. I'm going to show you a lot of different things in this video. I'll try to make it as short as possible. But yeah, just a lot of teaching moments in this. But yeah, we're gonna see how Brian Higgins is texting Karen Reed, John O'Keefe's girlfriend, and he passed away, and Brian Higgins is definitely wanting some of Karen Reed. So behind the back of John O'Keefe. So there's those. That's a beta male tendency right there. You do not. We'll just teach them all right now. You do not. A beta male. That is classic beta male. Whether we say beta male or weak man, whatever. A weak man or a beta male tries to take his friend's girl. A real man, a real dude, does not do that, because there are plenty more girls out there, and don't do that to a friend. Especially while they're still dating them. Hell no, right? But if you're doing that, you're seeing women in scarcity mode, right? You're seeing that, oh, there's no one else to date, she wants me, or whatever. No, you need to have an abundance mindset. That's a scarcity mindset, because there's of the 4 billion, what is it, 4 billion, whatever, 4 billion women on the planet, or whatever it is, there you can find another. All right, let's see if we can get this thing going. We're having a little bit. Let's see.
Had her
All
number, or did she have your number as far as you were aware?
No.
You had never communicated to her via cell phone or any other means prior to January 12th, 2022?
No, I had not.
So initially, you received a text on that date from a number. Is that
Sorry.
correct?
Yes.
And from the text before you, and what's up on the screen, as far as there are gray bubbles on the left, blue bubbles on the right, which is you and which is Mr.
The blue bubbles would belong to myself.
So the other bubbles would be Ms. Reed, is that fair to say?
Yes.
And so that initial communication you received on January 12th, 2022, that's about 8:27 p.m., is that correct?
Yes.
And what was the content of the message that you received?
You want me to read it?
Yes, please.
Hey, Brian, it's Weed Whacker.
And how did you respond to that?
Question mark.
And if it's helpful to you, sir, if you can't see the screen sort of from where you are, you can read along in the exhibit before you.
Okay.
Okay, so real quick, so this is Karen Reed is Weed Whacker. It's just a nickname. I might fast forward, but so she's reaching out. She's starting the communication, right? But you don't know. So first of all, let's just say you're in Brian Higgins' position right here. Brian Higgins is an ATF agent, law enforcement officer, and John O'Keefe, who's currently dating Karen Reed, when this text is sent, they're boyfriend and girlfriend, they're in an exclusive relationship. So, that's fine. She can send this stuff, but you don't even need to, as a man, let's say you're a man of identity, your identity, like I always say, the alpha bang, or, being a real man, a real alpha dude, strong dude. He can get stuff like this, but you're going to entertain as little as possible. And there's nothing to think about, because you don't hit on, you don't date your friend's girl. You don't bang your friend's girl. So she can reach out to me, and she can have my phone number, and we can share very few messages if we need to. But no, it's not going to be an ongoing thing. So that's my buddy's girl, or at least a guy in my social group's girl. No, hell no. But he gets all like, why she, but the way to combat that right here is, no, you're right, you don't pick up on your friend's girl. That's a bait. If you're thinking about, oh, why is she texting me? Oh, she might want to do me. Well, that's possible. as far as you could engage in that as a real man, but she's going to have to end the relationship with her current man, and it's going to, and then, but you're not going to do that unless that's done, and you need to tell John O'Keefe, possibly, I'm going to tell the dude, hey, I'm talking to your girl the other day, she sent me a message, whatever. So, because you want to keep things above board. Okay?
Now, as far as that communication is concerned, is the weed whacker, what, if any, meaning did that have to you? Or...
So ultimately, it was based off a interaction with the defendant, kind of a nickname that she adopted.
So he really doesn't know who it is. He doesn't do anything wrong here. And let me tell you this though: trust and believe. See, Karen Reed, she's a pretty girl. Trust and believe. She knows what she's doing. She knows whether there's interest or no interest. Like, doesn't mean just because she texted it. And here's the thing with now, as men, we may have an interest, right, when we reach out to a woman. But just because she reached out and texted you does not mean she has an interest in you. Number one, women are they love attention. Okay, so just the fact that she's reaching out, you have no idea why she's reaching out. You know what I'm saying? So you'll just have to watch her actions, to determine what her motive is, right? But just because she reaches out to you means nothing, especially when she has a boyfriend. And she was into John O'Keefe, by the way.
And how did that nickname sort of come to be, or what, if anything, transpired?
Here we go forward. None of that matters. We just got to get to more text. Okay, here we go.
I said, haha, how did you get my digits? Defendant responded, the Melissa and Lito show.
Okay, right here. Did you try those Smirnoffs? Okay, so she asked him, did you try those Smirnoff screwdrivers? I stopped at the Hilly, something about last night, okay? So whatever. Okay, well, I guess he says, haha, I don't know. Okay. So, it does, so you can, and if this is, so let's say this was you, right? And how's the real man answer this? You addressed it just real quick. No, didn't get a chance, and then you could actually say, have a great day. Tell John I said hello. Because what you're doing there is you're acknowledging his man, and you're acknowledging she's with the man, tell John, because you want to let her know, I know you're part of a team, Like, okay, so it would be, did you try those Smirnoff screwdrivers? I started to hill, and she'll respect you for that, So she's asking you if you tried the screwdrivers. Your answer to that is, if let's say you did or didn't. Yes, I did. They were great. Thanks for bringing them out. Hey, tell John I said hello. Y'all, we need to get together soon. We meaning, you keep it above board. Have a great night. You're ending the conversation. That's how a real man does it. So you don't do this, ha, and then how did you get my digits? It doesn't matter. But he wants to know her motive. He wants to know the background. Here's where the beta male starts. Okay? And by the way, Karen Reed knows what she's doing. She knows, so her relationship with John O'Keefe at this time is not that it's bad, but she's definitely frustrated with him. So she's definitely, she is stroking Brian Higgins. She is using him as possibly I'm not going to say, basically as a, not plan B, but a plan C. She doesn't want to use him. She doesn't want to have to resort to him. She loves John O'Keefe, but she also doesn't want to be out on her ass. So that's why she's probably starting up this text message stream. So she can have a buddy just in case, John O'Keefe says, get out of here. Now she's got Brian, But right now, it means nothing. Hang on one second.
I said, ha.
Sorry about that.
I thought you creeped John's phone. I said, ha again. Defendant responded, no way. I was the last person in Greater Canton who didn't have your number. I think even Kerry has it. I responded, what? With a bunch of question marks. I said, I just don't give my personal number out to anyone. How would Kerry had my number with a bunch of question mark, and the defendant responded, Melissa had it.
That's fine.
All right. I might, don't worry. Anyway, we'll get this done. This remote's kind of messing up, but anyway, we'll get it. I just had to drop the phone a little bit because I had to use both hands. But anyway, so there's a lot of learning moments in here. So she says, "How did you get my digits? The Melissa Lido show? Okay, whatever. Haha. I thought you creeped John's phone." So what so when he says, "I thought you creeped John's phone," he wants her to say something about John. That's what he's kind of, he's kind of intimating there because when he's doing that, so he says "ha-ha," right? That's a beta male move, by the way. The ha-has, the LOLs, men don't send that. Don't do LOLs. Don't do emojis. Just straight, whatever. But he wants her to say, "I did. I hate that bastard," or he's looking for her response, right? She says, "No way. I was okay." So, and then this is a power move by her because I was the last person. So she went out and got the number. She was the last person, and so she's kind of making him feel special, that she was the last person, And he says, "What? I don't give my personal." So he's trying to act like Mr. Important. "I don't give my personal number." This mansplaining here. I know this shouldn't be. I know women use mansplaining, but this how would Carrie all this is beta. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. So when she says, "No way, I was the last person in Greater Canada who didn't have your number," I think even Carrie has it. Cool. Just saying cool or okay or whatever. Yeah. You can say cool to that or got it or gotcha. Sounds good. That's another good response. Just something flippant, because, this whole I just don't get. She knows, dude, and women know, guys. He's acting like he's Mr. I don't give him. I'm Mr. Secret CIA guy. I don't give it out to anybody. You got me special, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, the whole, and he bit into her little, power play here because she says, "I was the last person great in Canada who didn't have your number." She's kind of like half joking, like that's not true, right? She's just trying to make him feel important. And then he kind of acts like what she said was true. Like it had merit. She probably was the last person in Greater Canton that didn't have my number. And the reason is, I just don't give him. So she knows he answered or he responds to her BS here, which it's not even, she knows this guy shouldn't even be explaining. Women know. They know the power dynamic. Sorry, I'm going to change this again, but it'll be all right. All right.
You know the communications, the reference the defendant makes to the Melissa Lido show. Do you know what that means?
The two individuals that I also know from the hillside.
And the Kerry person that she refers to, do you know who that is?
I believe that's Kerry Curran, Chris Curran's wife.
She's looking at those measures going, "What a beta
Now,
bitch."
I'd like to direct your attention to page 9. And it's given finding that page 9.
So he's already, the fact that he's talking to her is bad because.
And then, sir, if you could read from page 9 as far as that conversation goes, it just indicates whom is speaking at different points.
Okay, so the defendant said, "I prefer a weed whacker." I responded, "That's the thing about nicknames." Defendant said, "We were tossing around the idea of a short vacay with the current show. Wanted to see if you were game."
Haha.
I responded, "You don't have a say."
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe I was referring to nicknames.
The nickname, right? He's
And I
right.
said,
That's good.
"Vacation where?" Defendant responded, "I know. They need to happen.
Okay, that's good.
organically. I'm the queen of nicknames."
Okay.
Was just going to rent a beach house in, I believe it was supposed to say
Uh-huh.
Fort Lauderdale. It's abbreviated.
Yeah.
Something quick and easy.
Yeah.
I said, Defendant responded, "I'm the queen of."
Okay, so she's titillating him here. She's flirting, okay, in a very covert way to a certain degree. She needs a vacation, Now, he could be thinking, now, she's kind of messing with his mind because if she wanted me to go on vacation with her, are we going to get away? Does she say anywhere about John going? I mean, she said we were focusing around, what's the idea, a short vacay with so that's a couple, the Curran show, with the Curran show. But she doesn't say anywhere in here that her boyfriend's going, right? So, but you could assume maybe he is, right? But even if he assumes, but that's big that she doesn't mention her boyfriend. Now, she has plausible deniability that she doesn't have to because they're a couple, right? Okay, so vacation where? So he's wanting to know where, right? Which, and again, here's the thing. As a man of fucking purpose, you don't care where it is because she's got a boyfriend. You ain't part of her life, and she would respect you more if you just said, "Oh, cool, that sounds good." Hope you guys have fun. Boom, done. Because the fact that he is engaging in this bitch behavior, and she knows this bitch behavior. That's why she's doing this on purpose. She wants to get him a little. And that's why he says, You don't think? And she's running his ass. She wants him to go. He's like, maybe she wants to have sex with me. That's all he's thinking right now because he's highly attracted to her. All right, let me put this on. Oh. Yeah, use both hands to get this. Yeah, I know it's
Phase two, always a good time.
Right.
I responded, I'm going to Nashville next month, 19 to 21st, for a benefit. One of our guys got shot in the...
Okay, so now let's look at this. One of our guys got shot in the head. You guys should come. First of all, he doesn't need to... He's trying to act like Mr. Cool. He's trying to impress her. I'm going to Nashville next month, 1921, for a benefit. One of our guys got shot in the head. Which I'm 22 years law enforcement with HPD. That happened to a lot of our guys, right? So, and women know what you're doing because I've made the mistake, they know what you're doing. Don't bring stuff up. You learn as a young law enforcement officer, well, if you're going to be a real man, you don't do stuff like this. Women have grown up their whole life. I don't say whole lives, we'll say 18, because that just makes it YouTube friendly. 18 years old when they're getting hit on by guys, is guys are trying to impress them. She knows if one of our guys got shot in the head, you guys should come. Now again, who's you guys? And a real man would say you and John should come. But he doesn't address his, because he wants to kind of keep it vague. No, well, I'll come. He wants her to say, I'll come. He's hoping that she'll go with him and they'll have a little rendezvous. But the fact that she's not saying anything, he should take a hint that this is all flirty play, like this is all flirty games. This is all flirty going nowhere. Because a woman that wants to bang you will find a way to bang you. Shout out Rollo Tomasi. A woman that wants to bang you will find a way to bang you. So you don't have to do any of this. She would be chasing you, making sure I want to bang you. Nowhere in here is she being very clear what she's doing. Like there's there's definitely no mention of banging or any kind of love affair. Hold on 1 second. Here we go.
You guys should come.
As far as either one of those trips that you were discussing, do you recall any further discussion or any going on any of those trips?
So by all these text messages,
I definitely went to Nashville for that benefit for one of my coworkers.
She is definitely, I would say, definitely turned off by this. I would say this kind of behavior. Number one, she likes her man. If she didn't like her man, it would be a little different. But because I've seen text messages she sent at this time period, she's sending John O'Keefe, and she's chasing John O'Keefe. She's very much in love with John O'Keefe. Now, I'm not saying she wouldn't cheat on him, but my point is that if she did cheat on him, he's not going anywhere. He's her main, right? So the fact that you're engaging with somebody who's happy with their current boyfriend, you're dead in the water, and she knows you're kind of a bitch for she knows you're a bitch for doing this. If she tested you and you failed, she would have really respected a dude to say, hey, I don't want there to be anything between me and John. He's a good dude, so But hey, you're hot. Whatever you can say that. You can do that. I mean, you're hot. If you and John ever do, if you and John break up, I'd definitely be interested. But hey, man, John's a good man, so. Shut it down. Shut it down. I see. You just say he's a good man. I wouldn't want there to be any kind of friction between us. So yeah, a real man don't, and she knows a real man don't flirt with her while she's got a boyfriend.
It may have been more conversation about the Florida trip, but I can't specifically recall it.
Now, sir, if I could direct your attention to page.
Look at her. She's like, you little bitch. Gotcha. And he never got laid.
And this is on that same date of January 13th, is that correct?
I believe so. The date's not up the top here, but I believe it is.
A weed whacker, okay. No, you're not a creep. Nope. Mr. Cool, he's trying to eat. Dude, he's
So there's a photograph of somebody with a
you're
weed
kind of a loner, which I used
The
to be.
defendant said, no, you're not a creep. I said, nope. She said, you're kind of a loner, which I used to be. I responded, no, not really. I haven't.
Okay, so look, don't do this either. No, not really. I would this is insecure. He's there looks like a little insecurity there. Like, I'm not a loner. I got tons of buddies. A handful of friends and whatever. He's defending the way he's living, you know? Like, she said you're kind of a loner. I mean, dude, you don't have to defend anything. You know, first of all, he shouldn't be having any kind of. He should already shut this conversation down. But a correct response to, he's qualifying her. You know, he's basically explaining himself, right? When you're explaining yourself to a woman, this woman, there is a power position here. So it would be like, you know, a boss would not have to explain anything to you, the subordinate employee, you know, because he's the boss. You know, let's say, you know, you tell the boss, hey, you're kind of a loner, boss. Oh, really? He don't. Oh, he's the boss. Oh, y'all think that? Yep. Okay. And he gets to shut up. The best thing he could have done is been like, oh, okay, that's the way you see it. Whatever. That's it. You know, you don't have to defend, you know, your manhood. I got a lot of buddies. It looks insecure.
Buddies, but I only let a handful of friends in that I'm tight with.
And now he's trying that like
So
cool
you think you got
circle
me
of
figured out?
trust.
And then
That's him trying to.
circle of trust.
That's him trying to brag,
things.
or I'm cool, circle of trust. So you think you got me figured out, trying to be Mr. Mysterious. She doesn't care to figure you out, dude. Seriously, she doesn't.
And again, sir, if you could.
And here she goes. Yeah, I said loner, not a loser. I assume you know a lot of people.
Said,
I assume you know a lot of people. You never really can figure anyone out completely. Your dad died when you were young. See, and dude, she's running him, by the way. She's getting to his emotions, you know, and that's what yeah. If she does, yes. That right there where she said, yeah, I said loner, not loser. I assume you know a lot of people. So what she's saying is, calm down, buddy. That's what that's saying. Dude, I'm telling you, I know. She's telling him, calm down. You know, she knew he went and got defensive. That's a bad look. Okay? And now he died March 20. I am so not see? You don't have, dude. I am so not a loser. You don't have to tell. She already said you're not. So yeah, you know, you can maybe be funny, be like, yeah, I like the way, you know, great minds think alike. Or what, dude? No, you don't. I'm so not a loser. You won't figure me out. LOL. He's trying to be mysterious again, dude. He's already fallen in love. No one is a loser. I just didn't mean loner to imply friendliness. I'm sorry. That's recent. Okay. Anyway.
I said loner, not loser. I assume you know a lot of people. PPL, people abbreviated. You never really can figure anyone out completely. Your dad died when you were young, and I responded, he died in March of 2020. I'm so not a loser. You won't figure me out. LOL. Defendant responded, no one is a loser. I just didn't mean loner to imply friendless. I'm sorry that's recent. It wasn't COVID, was it? I responded, cancer. Defendant responded, I know you date girls who don't lock the house behind them, and you are private and observant. I'm sorry, what kind? I responded, lung, brain, kidney, and pelvis. Okay. How do you know all these things? LOL.
She does it, okay, she heard a little bit of gossip, whatever. She doesn't know much about you, you know. She mentioned, she's just titillating you. She's titillating you. The fact that she's changing the subject, what did he die from? Cancer. She's not that invested in her questions. This is just friendly talk. It's not flirting at all. I mean, she's being a little flirtatious, but she's not getting any arousal by it. This is just friendliness. She's bored. And I think she's drinking. That's why she brought up those Smirnoff things. You know, I think she's kind of tipsy in this. Okay, that's why she's being a little flirty. Okay, I'm gonna start it again real quick. I hate having to drop the phone, but I can do what I can do.
And again, sir, if you could read from that.
In the blue bubbles is me. I said, "You're funny." Defendant responded, "Yikes! Wow, that's rough. Jesus, I'm sorry. We chat a lot at the hillside." I responded, "Don't be sorry. Life is hard sometimes. I always figure it out."
Oh yeah. Okay.
Said,
Okay.
"Who chats?" Question.
Okay. All right. So she's doing doing the nice thing. Yeah, yikes. Wow, that's rough. Jesus, because of his dad. So yeah, when they're out at the hillside, it's like a social group. It's a group that hangs together, and they bring up people. That's how she got just a little bit of information on him. And now, but look at him. Don't be sorry. Life is hard sometimes. I always figure it out. This is him. Acting cool. She knows he's trying to be a tough guy. Again, you don't have. Yeah, and she know. Women know what you're doing. Here's the thing. He needs to be. You got to be direct. If he wants her, he knows he wants her. Just say, hey, we should go out. If you want to bang her, hey, we should go out. And she's in a relationship, by the way. It's probably gonna be an affair. So you need to be direct. The longer you go with all these chats, the more respect you lose from her, which is going to be probably none by the time they get together.
The defendant responded, "Life is hard, but losing people is the hardest. So I'm sorry. We chat." I responded, "That's all you got? We chat? Sure, you're from Brockton. Spit it out." Defendant responded, "You and I chatted about the girl who kept forgetting to lock the door."
It's a bunch of
said,
nothing.
"Oh, she has been out of play for 3 months now." And then I believe it.
So basically, he's saying, I got blue balls. I'm single, and she's been out of play, right? So he's letting her know I'm open for business, which is a beta male move, And so let's see, life is hard. And here where she says life is hard, but losing people is hard, she's kind of giving him advice. So she, where he said, don't be sorry, life is hard. I always figured it out. If she really was into you, she'd be like, that's true. A girl's going to take the submissive role and be like, that's a good point. She will say something like that. That's a good point. I like what you said. Instead, she doesn't take the submissive role. She comes back with her own. Yeah, life is hard. But she kind of comes with her own advice. But life is hard. So I'm so sorry. She's on your level. She's telling you she's on your level. Okay, so that's a bad part. That's a bad part. And then he says, "That's all you got? We chat." He wants her to talk more. He's basically saying, "Do you want to bang me?" Sure, you're from Boston spit. He's telling her, spit it out. He's hoping she'll spit out, "I want to bang you. That's why I'm flirting." There's nothing to spit out. She's wasting time. She's getting attention from you, and that's all this is. You think it's some possible big love fantasy. It's not. You're wasting your time. You're losing respect from her. The more you talk, the more she's losing respect. And be direct, guys. I'm serious. Be direct. Because if you get a no from her, she might go, "Oh, no, I'm with John. Oh, okay. Girls won't be offended if you ask them. And women respect men who are bold. They don't respect men who are betas that do stuff like this. She knows what you want. She knows exactly what he wants.
Again, I said, "I just got a Saturday invite." The defendant said, "Did you say yes?" Question mark. I said, "Not yet," with a bunch of periods. But did respond. Defendant said, "What did you say, Mr. Elusive?" I responded, "No, I just don't want to intrude on you."
Okay. What is that? I just got what is a Saturday invite? I think he's saying he's got a date, basically. And she's like, "Mr. Elusive." She's gassing him up. That's a gassing you up. She doesn't really think he's elusive. And by the way, he knows that the Saturday invite is I think he's letting her know Anyway, we'll see.
Night. Haha, I'm shy. The defendant responded, we prefer to hang out with non-couples. Dog gallery is probably coming too. Solo. We'll probably do cards or something at some point. I'm inviting you. And I said, haha.
Okay. All right. So right there. And so females. Okay. So this is guys need to learn from this. So she's running game here. So Mr. Elusive, that's her being flirty. She knows she's titillating his little wiener. Okay. By the way, she's not moved by much of this. I mean, she's not that invested in any of this. Okay. She's good. She's good at being flirty. Okay. And she's good at texting. She's good at communicating. We prefer to hang out with non-couples, which that's not true. She's just saying that so to gas him up and to have her little possibly plan B guy that's never going to, that she hopes will never. She likes John O'Keefe. She doesn't like him, but she's keeping him on deck, which, anyway. But the fact that he's engaging with her on all this, he's going to ruin his chances if there was ever any chance. Bob the Gallery's coming too, solo. So and that's kind of a save right there to where, other guys are coming too. So she's not just inviting him to be alone with him, but there is a slight wink, I prefer non-couples. You can cut, kind of like maybe if we get a chance, maybe if you get, we start drinking and the flirting goes right, I might run you off into a bedroom at the party or whatever, We'll probably do something. Okay, I'm inviting you, making him seem special, making it seem like she gives a damn, It looks like they have a lot of social, the group she hangs out with and he hangs out with, they have a lot of social gatherings. So it's not it's going to be probably quite a few people at this. So I'm inviting you, He's part of the little social group. So he's going to get invited. Or he's already invited. It would,
Yes.
But a guy like him who's...
And if I could direct your attention to the next page, page 21.
Yes.
And again, if you could read from that.
The defendant said, John said Brian's being wishy-washy now, in quotes. Did you tell him you texted me?
Right there.
The defendant responded, no.
Right, okay, right here. So, okay, boom. A mistake, guys. Loss of respect. John said Brian, so he, first of all, as an alpha male guy would not care. First of all, okay, John's her boyfriend. An alpha male, man with character, man stands on business, would not ask that question. Because at the end of the day, if you're not asking her out and you guys are having sex or whatever, you should assume this is just friendly talk. So but now that you say, did you tell John, he's wanting he's wanting more info. He's trying to, and he's trying to get more info. When she says no, that guy's little wiener hard. Well, she could have said, she may have actually told John, you know what I'm saying? But she knows that's going to get his little wiener hard. Then when he puts the thumbs up, no. The correct alpha male response, a man with integrity and character, and a good moral compass, says you should tell him. I think I'd want to know if I was John. Right there. That's how you, and she would respect you going, damn, okay. Because what that shows is, number one, you're not desperate, you're not thirsty, you don't see women in life as in a scarcity mindset, and you respect her man. Because there is a possibility that they'll break up in the future, right? And she needs to respect you. So you want to show her you're basically like, you do what's right, and let's say John did pass away. Let's say he did everything right in these text messages. She's gonna be like, man, when he texted me that one day, he wouldn't, he wouldn't flirt with me because of John. I really respect him. I'm gonna ask him out. Whatever, I'm just saying if this criminal trial would go on. You cranky. So okay. So now he's a little butthurt to a certain degree. He's a little insecure because he then asks you cranky now because she stopped texting. And she just said no, He got he's missing her attention.
And then I gave a thumbs up.
Yeah, bad maneuver.
Then I said, you cranky now, ? Defendant said, no, just stop being so anti-couples. Most couples don't even like each other. I said, name a few.
Okay, here we go.
Defendant
Here we
said-
go. Here we go. So she's titillating his wiener. That's on purpose. And this is what woman being purposeful on her. This is how deaf they are. It seems like very benign. Ha ha ha. You know, and she's laughing and she's joking. Just don't, you know, you don't be anti-couple. Most couples don't even like each other, which is not true, whatever. But let's say it is true. And what she's kind of implying as, maybe me and my boyfriend don't like each other. And he says name a few. He's wanting her to name her relationship so he can be a sniveling affair guy. He's trying to see if there's cracks in the foundation to where he can weasel his wiener in there. So that's what he's doing. Absolutely. Because I've been an indirect beta male loser like this.
I don't know.
When I was
all of them.
in scarcity.
Question mark. They all.
I would
want to
text
hang
like
out with
this. Not
single
I don't think
people.
text, but you
And
know.
then I said,
Yeah. I know the scarcity mindset. I had to dump it.
Thank you. Sir,
Oh yeah, see, we're going here we go. Hold on. Name a few. Oh, come on. She didn't give him what he wanted. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go back just real quick, guys. And I know I have to drop the phone, but it's right here.
all
Okay.
of them. Question mark.
Name
They-
a few.
They all want. To
I don't
hang
know-
out with single people.
Yep.
And then I said,
Yep. So yeah, exactly. I'll let it go a little bit here,
thank you. Sir, if I could direct your attention to page 26.
and I will go just a little bit longer. And I'm gonna do part 1, part 2. Okay, here we go. So he didn't name her. She didn't name her boyfriend. Here we go. Foul ball. Okay, here we go.
in blue is going to be myself again. Foul ball.
He's trying to.
Defendant responded, "You stink." I said, "You suck and you're double trouble."
He's being flirty.
Defendant
You're
responded,
hot.
"You're hot."
And
I
okay,
responded, "Are you serious or messing with me?"
dude, terrible, gentlemen. This is a sign of a beta male, and she knows it right now. Come on, guys. Okay, let's just say first of all, he shouldn't be texting. We know this. She already knows he's a beta bitch. You suck and you're dabba chaba. I mean, think about it, guys. Think of you got to think in masculine terms. The badass, like, you know, Conan the Barbarian or something, or Terminator or Rambo, or I mean, we're really being exaggerating right now, but James Bond. Yeah, who else? Like, just you know, what's the guy, transporter guy? You know, excuse me. Just, you know, Russell Crowe and Gladiator. You know, like would he go, "You suck and you're double chaba"? That's so bitch. You gotta be, or you know, some El Chapo or some, you know, drug kingpin. They have that toughness. You know. Anyway, you gotta have that badassness mindset. You don't go, "You suck" and double chaba, especially in texting. You don't do emojis. You know, with people you know, and you know, maybe your wife, or you can do that. But if you're dating a girl, no. Okay, so when she says you're hot, by the way, this is her gassing him up. Whether she thinks he is or not, it's not important. And by the way, she doesn't say sexy; she said hot. And I believe that, you know, that's going to be on purpose. You know, sexy would have been better, but she's keeping above board. She could have, you know, anyway. But she knows she's getting his wiener hard, and she's keeping him interested. Okay, and you know that she knows, but she's still in love with her boyfriend, big time. You know, because I've seen her text messages with him at the time, and we're gonna go through those at some other time. And so when he says, "Are you serious or messing with me?" that shows weakness. When she says you're hot, the answer is this how you answer? That's a compliment. Oh, thanks. And yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You are cocky. You own that. Yeah, you're hot. A woman would be confidence. You first thank them. Always show appreciation for compliments, because if you don't show appreciation, or you say, "No, I'm not," number one, you're telling her she can't see right, or her opinions are wrong. So don't ever do that. Whenever anyone gives you a compliment, you always say thank you. Always. I didn't know that until later in life. And you never say, "Are you?" No, you let a girl know. Yeah, I know. You know, you're hot. Oh, thanks. I know. You know? You know, or tell me something I don't know. You know, no, I'm serious. So she knows he's an insecure bitch now, and she knows her little wiener.
Defendant responded, "No, I'm serious." I responded, "Failing is mutual."
Oh,
Is that bad?
Oh my
How long
God,
have you
dude.
thought that?
Okay, hold
Defendant
on. He's in a little bitch mode. His little wiener's getting so hard right here. Okay, this is terrible, guys. Oh man, no, I'm serious. And, you know, and at that point you go, well, and if you would have answered it right, you're hot. Yeah, you say thank you. Yeah, I know. She would have been able to go, you know, oh, you're so cocky, or oh, Mr. Confident, been like, well, I know a man knows what he knows. Whatever, you just, you know. But when he's now she's playing Miss Reassurance. No, you are a good guy. You are. No, you are. You're okay. No, John. Or, sorry. No, Brian Wiggins. Brian Higgins, you are okay. Don't we think Brian Higgins is hot, guys? Class, Brian Higgins is hot. Tell Brian Higgins not to cry. See, that's what that is. Seriously. And then he says feeling is mutual, you know? You could have been, feeling is mutual. He's trying to let her know. She knows, she knows you think she's hot because you're having this, she's getting your wiener hard. She already knows. Don't ever say this. No. And then he says, like he has to ask, Mommy, feeling is mutual. So he's like, Mommy, is that okay? I said that, Mommy? I mean, I told her to taste the hot too. Is that okay, teacher? Is that okay? Dude, Rambo, big badass warrior, you know? You are a warrior. You are a man that fights. You are a man that goes to war, and women want you to be that man. And you don't go, is that bad? Is that bad, guys? Should I shoot this guy? I'm a warrior. Should I say? God, dude. Karen, can I hold your purse? I gotta go to the girls' bathroom because I got pee sitting down. How long have you thought that? Another dumb question, because it shows his insecurity. If you really thought, because I've done this, right? It's like, you have to, trust me, when you own your confidence, like, you'd say, you know, no, I'm serious, like, whatever, you know. Well, he could have shut it down with, anyway, none of this is necessary. You just let her know, I know I'm hot. When did you know that? When did you think
driving,
that?
You don't want to stay here.
So when he says, how long have you thought that?
I have an office at the PD. You didn't answer the question.
So, hey.
And then it starts to say,
hey.
Defendant said,
okay. So women are deft at this. Okay. So you guys a little wiener hard with your hot. No, I'm serious. Feeling is mutual. Is that bad? How long have you thought? So he has to say, is that bad? There's 2 questions he asked. Is that bad? How long have you thought that? Okay. And this is what you need to do, guys. And when you text women, don't answer their questions. The person asking the question is in charge, has frame. So the less questions you answer from a woman shows, women definitely know this. It shows your power, shows your dominance over her in a conversation. Because you don't have to respond to any question anyone asks you. So that's what she does. She dodges his question. And women do it deftly too, because they're better at communication than men, way better, is she just sidesteps his question. So that's actually showing, what's the word I'm looking for? Like delinquents. Like that's showing resistance. That's showing defiance. She didn't, like, it'd be like if your boss said, hey, what time you coming in tomorrow? And you ignore them. That's rude. You know what I'm saying? So her ignoring your questions, it's her letting you know, I'm not going to answer that. And it, you know, whatever. You know, it's her showing her dominance over you. What the hell? But he wants to know. He wants to know, did this just start? I hope it just started that she thought it was hot. So maybe she wants to bang now. And then if you have to say you didn't answer the question,
I believe it was that night.
it shows that she didn't want to answer the question. Now you're whining. Men don't whine. She'll answer the question when she wants to.
I believe it might have been the front door.
And if you know,
Poor Karen has to sit there all the time with a camera on her all the time.
I was probably one of the last people to leave, I think.
And what, if anything, happened as you were exiting from this girl's house that night?
So as I was exiting the house, it was either through the breezeway or the garage.
He's like, I'm going to rip you up on cross-examination.
The defendant planted a kiss on me.
before you went out that way, where was Mr. O'Keefe? Did you say goodbye to him or anything like that?
I think I said goodbye to him. He might have been in the bathroom. I'm not 100% positive where he was.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a very big kiss either.
Exit from the house.
She's just titillating him. She's very insecure, probably about John O'Keefe.
Well, as I said,
Leaving her.
I don't remember exactly if it was the breezeway or the garage. I was starting to walk through, but whichever way I started to exit, the defendant told me to go a different way.
Yeah, and you took her lead.
Did the defendant tell you to go?
Well, her way. I honestly can't tell you which door that was. If it was either the breezeway or the garage.
And as you were going out, again, I'm sorry, what happened?
The defendant kissed me,
And how did she kiss you?
not like a friend.
Oh, whatever. You little beta male.
Yes,
If she ain't blowing you, it ain't shit
that's
for
the way
her.
I interpreted it.
Yeah, well, you're a little bitch.
Inside the house at the time that this occurred, or were you outside the house?
Not sure if
We're gonna
we
go
just
just
got
a
to
couple
the
more
outside
minutes,
or
not much.
It might
I would
have-
shut this down.
I'm not sure if it was close proximity to leaving.
And what was your reaction to that?
I was taken back.
Dude,
Is that something?
a man don't get taken back.
And about how long was it between when the defendant kissed you and when you left?
Oh, almost immediately.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention back to the exhibit before you on page number 27.
Ha 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 ha. Let's go to
Yes.
the last page here.
Sir, if you could read from that page.
So I'm in the blue bubbles, and I said, I wish.
I
think
wish.
you're messing with me. The defendant said, why do you think that? I responded, because this is so out of left field. Where did these feelings come from? Defendant responded, I just think you're like me. I said, meaning? Question mark. Defendant said, do you have your own kids? I said, I have no kids. How am I like you?
Okay.
Question mark. Hello?
Okay, let's
Defendant responded,
Hang
aren't
on.
we alike?
hang on.
I responded, I think so.
Okay, hang on.
The defendant
All right.
said, why do you think that?
All right,
I responded, because,
there we go. All right, real quick.
almost immediately.
I'm gonna pause it real here, and we're gonna go over the.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention back to the exhibit before you on page number 27.
This will be our last deal.
Yes.
Again, sir, if you could read from that page and who's speaking.
So
All
I
right.
bubbles, and I said, I wish, I think you met
Okay.
me.
Okay, here, wait. All right, here we go. Last one. Okay. I wish. Are you messing with me? And then she said, "Well, why do you think that?" Well, what she's telling him is, don't you own your freaking confidence, bro. You know? Are you messing with me? You know? If she's basically saying, why? You think you're ugly? You know? Because this is so out of left field. Well, she's she's insecure about her relationship with John O'Keefe. Her real real love. Where did these feelings come from? Nowhere. She doesn't have any. I just think I just think you are like me. That's not a good answer. You know, he's probably getting his wiener so hard right now that any answer's good. And again, there you go. And let me tell you guys, here's what you need to know from this. When women want to bang you, shout out Roll Tomasi. When women want to F you, they'll find a way to F you. When women want to bang you, they'll find a way to bang you. Meaning, if they want to bang, they're going to make sure that you know that they want to bang. And when she's answering stuff like this, when there's all this ambiguity, that's a woman keeping you on deck. That's a woman that doesn't have interest in you. Or enough interest in you. Okay? I just think you're like me. That's a ambiguous answer to keep you on the line. Meaning, that's exactly ambiguous. Like I said, I'm smart. He doesn't even know what that means. Meaning what? That's what she wanted to, and she's good because that's what she wanted him to think. Like, kind of sounds good, kind of sounds bad. And then she changed. Once again, guys, Once again, know this. The person asking the questions is the person in charge. She hasn't answered one question yet. Well, maybe she answered one. But she's dodged a lot of others. And she's dodged this one. Meaning, he says, what is, okay, so she says, I just think you're like me. And he wants to know what's that mean. And she doesn't answer it. When you don't answer a question, you're showing you're the boss. You're showing I'm not answering that question. I'm above you, bro. That's what she's telling him. And then she changes the subject. Another deft move. She's killing this guy. Do you have your own, as far as dominance? Do you have, now so the person asking the questions owns the frame of the conversation. So she changes the frame of the conversation. I have no, because if he really wanted to own the dominance of this conversation, here's what you do, guys. When he says meaning, right? She doesn't answer the question. She asks him, do you have your own kids? What you do at that point is, I asked you a question. You tell me, I asked you first, you're going to tell, whatever. Or you go back to, hey, I want to know what you meant by, you don't answer her question. You go back to yours. But you shouldn't be having this stupid conversation anyway, and especially when a woman's not even being overtly sexual, right? So, you see how he's messed up he's messed up on every text. And I'm going to just go real quick, and I'm going to end it. But one, the fact that he's actually texting her, and she has a boyfriend. Loss of respect, loss of attraction. Okay? These kind of texts, meaning that's not a confident attitude, that's not a masculine attitude, that's not a man that stands on business. What's that mean? El Chapo, what do you mean? I'm El Chapo. What? I'm Rambo. What do you mean? What did you mean by that? It kind of bothered me. The fact that he's already he's not being direct, he's being indirect. Women like men who are direct and assertive, goal-oriented, goal-directed. Women, and here's the thing, I know a lot of guys, he's afraid to hear no. And a lot of guys, we've all been there, right? But you have to overcome that fear. I have, in cold approaching, you're still going to have that fear. But especially on text, stuff like this, oh, no, I'm very direct, right? And even in person, because I'd rather get a quick no than go through all this. They say, hey, well, you want to get together and we're gonna hook up or what? But you got to be direct. And here's the thing, another thing. She's not into him. I'm telling you, she's not. By reading text messages and kind of knowing that this is the case, but by reading text messages, she's not into him, right? So you're wasting your time. And like I said, I'll leave it here and I'll end it. But women will text you for 10 years. For 24 hours, like I always say, your phone is a tool for setting up dates, for logistics. It's not for entertaining yourself or anyone else, or a girl you're not banging, you don't text this much. You could even tell her, hey, I really don't like text, whatever. This is terrible. This is terrible, guys. Anyway, go through this a couple of times, and I'll find more text messages, but I'm going to end it here. I'm going to do a part 2.